Hey guys, this is Stephanie Farron, the Technology Facilitator at Butler High School, and this quick video tutorial is actually a continuation of getting started with Google Sites. This is part 2, so if you haven't watched the first video, make sure you go back and look at that. Otherwise, we're starting where we've already created a site and we're going to be adding some features to it. So the things we're going to try to cover in this video include the different items you can insert into your page, whether it be text, links, Google Drive, YouTube, calendars, anything that you want to put into your site, how to set up your pages and your menu, how to change your theme and make it personally your own, and how to publish and unpublish your site. So if you remember from the previous video, we are focusing on the new sites, not the older classic mode of sites, since going forward, Google is probably going to be promoting their new sites and eventually will archive their old sites. So the one thing I want to draw your attention to in Google Sites is that it's going to give you an icon, a snapshot of your website, and underneath it, it will tell you the title that you've named it, which is very important because that will be your naming convention that you'll then send your URL link to wherever you need it to be posted. It also tells you the last time it was opened and updated. This is important if, as a department, you all decide to create a common site and you have multiple people working on it. Remember, the 3 dots are always your menu. And in your menu here, you have the option to rename your site, remove it, or open it in a new tab. So let's look at a site that I've been working on. And let's talk about what we can do. So if we start with our site, we're actually going to start with inserting and the different options we can do. The one we're probably going to use the most is the text box. So every time you insert a text box, it's going to pop at the last part of the page. You can then move it up and down. You can change or adjust your text box, change the formatting, anything that you can do in Google, you can do in this text box in Google Drive. What I like about the text box is you can also change the way the text box looks, so you can emphasize it. You could actually put an image underneath the text box, and you can upload an image or actually select an image. And again, remember, everything works with your Drive. So if you pop all your images in Google Drive and keep a folder of your images, you can go back and source the beautiful beach picture you like, or your albums, the things you've saved. What I love about Google Drive, and this is the reason why we're moving to Google Drive or Canvas, is the readability issue. So if you notice this little icon in the far right hand corner that looks like, I don't know, stars, this is adjust or remove for readability. So the issue is whenever readers are using this, you want to make sure you're using high contrast versus low contrast. So for example, if you use a dark background like this world history, you want to use a white or a very light font, or vice versa. If you use a very light background, you want to use dark font. You don't want the colors that are too close together. And this adjust readability option, when you start putting things in here, then it will allow the readability to change and to slightly change your pictures so that the readability will adjust. So for example, when I click that, you can see it actually lightens the picture slightly so that my text stands out more. You know if you turn it off, because then it will get darker and it'll be harder to read. So that's a really, really nice feature, and you don't have to worry about that. I can adjust everything. I can grab the text and I can move it around. So for the majority of you, what you'll want to do is go to your old site, highlight a bunch of things, copy it, and then come over to your new site and paste it. The lovely thing about this is it will actually remember all the links and items. If you hover over the link or item, just like this last one, it will show you what the URL actually is. So you want to make sure that your URL links in your new site actually link to an additional website and not to an archived document or item that you've uploaded to a previous server from a different site. Because if Wiki closes, then your site, all those files will go dead for you. So for example, if I look back at Tech Talk meeting dates, it goes to Google Docs. That's great, that's fine, I don't need to do anything about it. If I wanted to change it, I'd click the pencil or I could trash it. The next one down, if I click it, is nothing. Then I've got video directions. Well, that's NC Ed Cloud, so that's great. And then the last one is YouTube. But if I find that I have links, and you probably want to go page by page on your site, that you uploaded the file to that server's site, you'll want to go in and download all those files. What I recommend that you do is go into your Drive and create a folder. Maybe call it website. And in that website folder, put all your files that you want to go on your website, download it from your old website, and put it there. Okay? What you'll want to do with that folder is you'll want to come down and you can right click that folder and change the share permissions. So that way, as you put everything in your folder, I recommend under advanced, and remember by default everything in Google is private. You can make it so anyone with the link and I recommend probably view only, not they can edit your documents and destroy them, but view only. So that way, as you put things in your folder, everything is viewable. That way, going forward, if you make a change on your document in Google, then it will change that document in your site, and you don't have to upload it again. And you don't have to worry about where it is and how many times you have to upload it. So that is the one nice thing about this. I've done this for my website tools, and I've also done it for my images. I've made a folder of, hey, I really like this picture, I want to put it on my website. So that way I have it all there. You can pull it all out of your previous or old websites. Okay? So that is your text and how you can change it. Images works very much the same way. When you click your image box, you can actually just give a URL of your image, and it will find it. You can search through images. They search for Google and Life images, which are pretty cool. So like if I do, I don't know, it will pull up any type. You can do it by color, you can do it by type, and then put it in. Love it. You can do it by your own albums and the items that you already have in your Drive or Google Drive and put things in. So it's really nice. You could keep coming back to images you've used again. And again, if you tweak or change an image, it's automatically going to change it in Google Drive, which will be nice. So if I go back to my album, I don't know, let's pick a picture here. When I pop it in, it's going to simply pop where it is. I can then adjust and edit it and move it from there. So real simple. Okay, I can adjust it. I can also highlight it and put a link in to make it an actual link, delete it, crop it, so on and so forth. Okay. Embed codes. Embed codes, there are two things you can do. You can embed by URL or you can embed by the HTML code. I'm going to show you what that looks like in Google Drive, but I don't think you need it in Google Drive because if I hit cancel, you will look underneath insert. Remember, anything in Google Drive, you can simply click and insert it, so you don't even need the code. This embed code will work for any item that allows you to embed directly into the site. So for example, if I'm going to play a quiz or a Kahoot and I can get the embed code, or I want my Twitter feed to go into my website, all I need to do is go in and copy the embed code in the HTML and then drop it in and then adjust the size of my box and it will play on this page. So that's really where the embed code comes in. Upload. The only time you guys are probably going to need to do uploads are if you have files that you do not want to be in Google Drive at all. So for example, files from your computer, a Word document, a PowerPoint, a PDF. Now, there are things, and I know that we all are like this, but remember, all your kids have Chromebooks. So it would make your life so much easier if you just take everything and you put it into Google, and that way as you make changes, then it will automatically change over and over again. You don't have to remember to upload the file over and over again. What I love about using all of these things is that it actually opens in the page, so it stops your students from that endless click of click the link, then click the next link, then click the next link. So I'll show you what I mean. If I want to insert a slideshow, I simply click Slides. It's going to pull up my Drive. I pick a slideshow, and if you notice, most of these slideshows have already been published to the web and made public. If you haven't, they may not show up. If you don't, Google will need to fix it for you. And then my slideshow will actually open on the page. If I want my students to be able to download this, then I would also put the URL link in so that way they can get to the slideshow as well. So that slideshow is automatically going to be here when they preview my page. If I want them to see it as well, I probably will come in and do an embed with the URL. So if I go in my Drive, I find that slideshow, then I want to make sure they have the link for it too so they can keep it in their Drive. I'll go File, Publish to the Web, and then click that link, copy it, put it in my show, and then they're going to get that as well. Okay? Or I can have it where I put that link in with the text box, link to file, and then just simply highlight my words, click the link button, and pop it in. And then that way they have the link to the file and they actually have the file that opens up on my page. So it's just streamlining and making the process simpler. Let's talk about pages for a minute. So pages, I'm going to click the tab over in the menu. By default, we have the one page, which is our home page. There are two ways to make a page, actually three. The first one is I can click the plus sign down here at the bottom, which will add a new page. I can also click a link. So for example, if I want a link off my main page to the Charlotte Observer, I could title it Charlotte Observer, and then just simply put in the URL code to the site. I also like it open in a new tab. So here's my home page. This will be the first link. To adjust my menu, again using the 3 dots that are off to the side, I can hide it from navigation, so it'll be there when the kids click the link I want them to click, but they can't see I made the link. I can also subpage things. So this is going to be, and I'll show you in a minute on a page. I can duplicate the page and then make changes to it, change the name. I can also make subpages. So a subpage is like a tab. So let me show you one I've been working on. So this is my website that I've been working on, and when you look at it, in my menu, you can see what my additional pages are for my topics. It's going to match the site I had here and my tabs across. Also in Google, I can choose whether or not I want my menu to go across or go vertical, and that's pretty simple too. So I got to title this, so that way I can do that. And again, I need to hit that publish because I haven't hit publish. Okay, and so when I hit publish, it will name my site for me. The naming convention is sites.google.com/CMS, and our domain, cms.k12.nc.us/ whatever I call it. And then I can also manage how I want who to view my site. So by default, it's anyone within CMS. If I'm making this site for the entire world, my parents to see, I'll want to change it from a draft to specific people, published just for CMS. I want to change it for anyone in the web to see it. So that way it's not hiding behind the wall, and that when a parent's clicking on it at home, they can see it because they may not be someone from CMS. I'm going to leave mine in CMS right now since it's just my sample, and I'll probably delete it after I'm done. But I want to publish it so you can see my menu start to pop up. So once I've created my menu will be over here near sample, okay, at the top. So I have the option, I can actually add a logo to my page, which is pretty cool. And then under the cogwheel or my navigation settings, I can change whether or not I want it to go at the top, so you can see my home and Charlotte Observer, or the side. Okay, and then that would make the 3 lines, which then you can open up for my menu. If I want to move something in my menu, I simply just move it around the menu. And then I can also sub-page the menu. So maybe I want a page about me. This makes a new page. Okay, I can also select how I want the path to look if I wanted a different name than about me. It's going to pop underneath my home, so you see how I said it's like tabs. And then when I look at it, that's the way it's going to pop up too. So I can move around and adjust my menu just like in Weebly and customize it. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show, and I'm probably going to run out of time, is themes. There are obviously tons of themes. So I'm going to click themes. You start with the simple ones, like the default, but when I click simple, it's not simple at all. I can change the color, and if I don't like these colors, if I click the little paint can, I can go in and buy hex code, which you can Google hex codes, and I can adjust any color that I want, okay, and gradient as well. Okay, I can also come in here and I can change the image. And again, I can upload an image that I have, or I can select an image from an image gallery. So I like that one. So I'll click this one. It's going to change the background. Okay, I can reset the size of the header. I can reset that. Make sure you're using your readability option down here so that the About Me is really popping and that it is adjusting the colors here. I can change the header. Maybe I only want it to be title, large banner, small banner. So it will adjust the size just like in Google or Weebly. All right. You can change, we better go back out of the header type and put the image back in. You can also change the fonts and the logos. So maybe I want level or impression. And then that will change it as well. And you can actually add text boxes up into your banner as well if you want to add more things. So for example, right now mine is pretty simple, but I've added more information about me in a second text box. So I hope this gives you some more ideas to get started. Good luck with your sites. It's pretty simple, and I'll be around to assist if you need help.